what is happening with the MCU. Is there any hope? Today we're going to look at the full debacle. We're going to go through all of it, all of the latest, and then we're going to weigh in, and you're going to see the breadcrumbs and the current state of the MCU, and should we have any hope for the future? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Echo Base Network. So glad that you are here. We're going to jump right into this. Nick, we are talking all things Marvel. We know the latest that has come out, the Marvels. We're about to get into that, and things are getting very interesting with Marvel. And it's not all that good. Starting right here. Before we get into it, you got to know that Marvel, just like this headline suggests, used to reliably churn out billion-dollar hits. Now, Disney has a mess on its hands, and it really, truly does. Marvel, for years, was rolling out successful film after successful film, making itself one of the all-time great franchises. And this was a brand in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s even, that was a dead brand. The brand was dead. Right. I remember when Marvel was worth 25 cents a share, and they were about to go out of business. Okay? They came back with a vengeance. No pun intended there, ladies and gentlemen. But now, let's see what has happened. And that, of course, is going to take us right to the Marvels. The most dominant franchise in the history of movies, that's arguable, has taken its first major spill. Marvel just had its worst box office weekend ever with the opening weekend of the Marvels, and the headline says it. What happened? Well, we know what happened. It is what it is, and Nick's going to unleash on that in just a moment. I'm just painting the picture here for us. What happened next, you say? Well, Avengers 5 is now without a director because he jumped ship to go do Shang-Chi 2, which will also be a failure, ladies and gentlemen. The Avengers 5 is now without a director, and Marvel seems to be moving away from Kang in the MCU. Now, that might not necessarily be a bad thing, but what story are they going to tell? Who is going to be the big bad? And, you know, so many people are taking shots at Disney as of late. Even Jim Cramer, the stock guru, has taken a shot publicly at Bob Iger due to Disney's disappointing performance. And Jim Cramer actually says right here, CNBC's Jim Cramer says, "I kept thinking, how could it be so hard to turn around the best intellectual property company in the history of the world? Turns out the answer is real hard," Cramer said. Cramer told subscribers to his investing club this week. "The company has a huge amount of bloat, or the CEO wouldn't have just said he can whack out $7.5 billion in cost instead of $5 billion, like he said a couple of months ago." Now, everybody in the world's taking shots at Disney, including CNBC's Jim Cramer, but we're not done painting the picture yet. Marvel is reportedly, like we mentioned, moving away from the Kang storyline, as the next Avengers movie has lost not only to the director, now it's lost its screenwriter as well. This thing is literally falling apart. So whom do they place their hope in? What could make this thing better? Pedro Pascal, of course, who is now apparently going to be Reed Richards in the upcoming Fantastic Four, which I predict will also be a flop because they're going to dump an inordinate amount of money into making that film, and it just won't make it back. It could do better than the Marvels for sure. Fantastic Four is gonna generate some income. There's gonna be some interest there. However, it's not gonna be at the level that we're used to seeing Marvel being at, the level of yesteryear. So the ultimate question here is this one: is the Marvel age over? The Hollywood Reporter came out November 13th and said, it's not over yet, but things are definitely down. Nick, I got to ask you, what is your take?
Marvel is a disaster right now. They just had the lowest box office of all time. All time opening weekend. I mean, I'll be surprised if the Marvels even gets to 250 worldwide. I mean, they'd have to do another over 100 million for that. I just don't see it happening. Uh, and it all comes down, like we always say, which everybody always says, it comes down to writing and storytelling. Nobody cares anything about the Marvels and the three chicks that they had in that movie. I literally looked at my local theater for primetime showings for this Friday night. One of the screenings had one ticket sold, one person in the entire theater. That is not good. Marvel at its peak was sold out on weekends, and it did not have a big drop. This weekend is going to be very telling to see what kind of drop the Marvels has, which I think it's going to be significant. I think like extreme bad is going to be like an 80% drop. But not that many people went and saw it in the first place, so I think everybody that was wanting to see it already went and saw it. So I think it's going to be a pretty significant drop. If they keep going down this road of, what's being called as the MCU, they're just not going to do well. And I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Look at the box office numbers for everything they're putting out. Other than Spider-Man, which was done by Sony, nothing has turned a profit except for maybe Guardians 3, which might have made just a little bit of money. But they're not in a good state. And this is not something that's going to be easily fixed. Bringing back Iron Man or Captain America might generate a little bit of a pump. But if they keep giving us the same crappy stories that they're giving us with the films that they've been giving us, it's not going to do it any good at all. I just think it's a complete mess. And then they just need to stop what they're doing, take a break, and reorganize, get everybody together on the same page and start over from scratch.
Man, when I look at it, you're seeing the death of a powerful franchise, one that has dominated entertainment in the last however many 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
This thing has been steamrolling, and they got lazy.
Yeah.
Disney and Marvel got lazy, and they thought that anything that they do was going to generate money. And you hear this, Nick, and this is something that I really take issue with. You hear superhero fatigue. There is no such thing.
No.
It's bad, piss poor movie fatigue.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Definitely. And they don't understand or get that at all.
No, they definitely do not. And they had a gold mine, and they took advantage of that, giving us some great movies, some great films. Man, you go back and watch those things. Those things are timeless classics. They will always be worthy of watching. I'd go watch Endgame tomorrow at the theater if they put it back in the theater.
I could literally probably watch Civil War or Winter Soldier, weekly and not get tired of it. They were great movies.
Yeah, they did not have a sufficient backup plan. Those actors are gone.
Yeah.
And they're not walking through that door again. And if they are walking through that door again, you're talking about an older Robert Downey Jr. who you're going to have to pay about $60 million to do anything.
Yeah.
And that comes with a heavy, heavy price tag that they can't necessarily afford, losing movie after movie after movie. At some point, they have to go, man, nothing we're doing is working. We need a complete, surgical operation here to change everything. So they're trying to do that perhaps by changing the big bad. They're moving away from the Kang dynasty. But Nick, they have to. My man's going to be in prison maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Kang dynasty is over. Kang is gone, and the thing is, the other problem is that they are having is they're tying in all the shows with the movies. The cinematic universe needs to be completely separate from the shows.
Yeah.
If you want to bring people from the shows in, that's fine, but bring them in a way to where you don't have to go watch Loki seasons 1 or 2
Sure.
or any of the other shows, WandaVision or She-Hulk or
Yes.
anything. So in the also, you know, speaking on like the original MCU actors like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, if they're coming back, it's like a chocolate Easter bunny that's hollow on the inside. If they
I
come
remember
back,
those.
it's just going to be very hollow,
Yeah.
especially if they're telling stories the way that they're telling them right now.
Right.
It's just not in a good place at all.
Bro, who was interested in the Kang dynasty anyways?
I wasn't at all.
Who was? I don't know anybody that was. Oh, he's a great villain. Yes, that's what we need. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
It just wasn't working anyways. So it's actually a good thing that they're moving away from that. However, do you have any faith that they're going to replace that with something that is actually a draw?
Rumor has it it's Doctor Doom. If they do that, that might generate some interest. But the thing is, if they don't do the character justice or do them right,
Right.
And tell the same kind of crappy stories they've been telling, it's going to be meaningless. Absolutely meaningless.
Yep. Totally agree. Most importantly, what do you think? Do you guys have any hope that Marvel is going to recover? What do you think about this new direction? What do you think about the Marvels and how it flopped? What do you think about this new direction with the Kang Dynasty and moving away from it? Do you think that this thing could actually rebound and return to the glory days of yesteryear? I'm not so sure. I wish that it would. That'd be great. That'd be giving us good entertainment again. That would be fantastic. I'd be all for it if they could pull that off. Anyways, hope that we see you on our live stream. We are Echo Base Network. I'm Coach. He's Nick. See you on the next one.
Bye, guys.